So the big question we want to answer is this: how a hard-working individual who always followed the rules and who knows there is more to life than working 9 to 5 for 40 years to retire, how do you fast track to a lifestyle of wealth and freedom using property? That's the big question, and I'm here to give you the answers. My name is George Lumbana, and I'm a professional property investor and entrepreneur.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, George. How are you today?
Good afternoon, Noel. I'm doing really, really well. It's been quite a heavy week for myself. I've been literally up and down the country. So I was in Liverpool this week, checking some properties for the new auction that is coming on later this month. I also met an investor up there that he was interested in investing in property, and he wanted to see a little bit more of what exactly we can do for him and on the type of properties that he will potentially look for. And also, I'm here in London today sorting out some rental rents as well. So literally, I've been doing everything this week. So, but in today's topic, the most important thing is from theory to practice. This is what we wanted to talk about today. And it's how you start doing and start literally putting into action everything you've learned, everything you've heard of, everything you've seen on Facebook, social media, webinars, and so on and so forth, from like how to make an offer, how to see things through, and how to eventually get your property portfolio started.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you just a very briefly and share with you my experience this week with investor up in Liverpool. So we basically met on a Monday at 12 o'clock up in Liverpool. I gave him an address where to meet. I showed him some of my own personal properties. I also showed him some projects that we're currently working on for other investors, and he also saw me, obviously, seeing my builders, seeing the people that bring me deals to the table, and seeing basically some of my power team in operation. So, what is the power team for those of you who are quite new to property? The power team is the people that are around you that help you build your property portfolio, including your estate agents, your builders, your trusted builders, your accountants, and your mortgage brokers. That is your power team. So these people, if you get them right, which takes years to put them right together, those people can literally lift you up and help you to build a property portfolio, because everything becomes a cycle. Now, when I met the investor back there, he was obviously telling me the amount of things that he's seen online, the amount of people he's chat about property, and he's actually a landlord himself. So he already has a property in London which is remortgaging at the moment, and he's trying to withdraw some equity from those funds, and he wants to see and to know where to invest it and how we can help him with that. So we had that conversation last week, and then this week he decided that last week he decided that he wanted to see Liverpool by himself and meet me in person and see who's the person behind the podcast and who's the person behind all the information we're providing to you. So he was actually very, very excited, and I made a plan for him to say, okay, so we're going to go and pick up some keys from these estate agents. This is a property that we purchased at auction last month. I'm going to show you this property, and basically this property was purchased for £78,000 at the auction. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to invest on this property. And this is basically what you could potentially be getting if you invest in Liverpool, and if you invest with us and with the type of budget that you have. This is the perfect example what you could be getting. And he was very, very, very intrigued about the amount of things that we did. And then after that, I show him, look, this is only a part of what we can do. And then I started showing him some projects that we're currently working on for other investors that are a little bit bigger than a 2-3 bedroom house, more into the 5, 6, 7 bedroom HMOs that we've done in the past. So obviously when he walked through of like half-done property where all the cables are hanging and everything is literally upside down through in the middle of the works, he was quite scared, and he was like, "Oh, I wouldn't imagine that you do all this with the properties, so you can literally break and kind of like rebuild the property the way that you guys do it to squeeze as many bedrooms as you possibly can." And that was a very nice comment for him to make, which obviously he was very intrigued on how much you could potentially be making on a HMO like that, how much the end valuation could be for a property like that, and the amount of money that goes into the property to make it happen, to convert it into a 7-bedroom HMO. So when I told him, look, theory is everything that you've seen online, and putting that into practice is literally this. When you get the property, when you have a clear vision of what you're going to do with the property, and then when you start putting all the plans into action, this is exactly how it will look, and this is basically the type of things that you could be doing when you have a little bit more experience. But experience comes with practice. So that's my advice to all of you who are looking to start into property, all of you that are looking to move into a new direction and start investing. You can start with something small, something that doesn't require too much work, and then eventually start getting the experience and getting the feel of property, and see if it's something that you're really, really keen on. And then you can start then moving into a little bit more complex projects, something to more like bigger HMOs, something where you can see the reflection of high cash flow income from properties like this. So it was a very nice experience, Noel. Very, very nice experience with the investor, and he was actually very keen to start the process with us. So that is something that happened to me on Monday when I met him up in Liverpool.
All right. So you told me this investor, actually his name is Michael. Basically, he's already a landlord, but he was quite impressed on the lines of seeing things. He, being a landlord himself, he didn't see before. So that means that probably he's not stretched to the level of taking a property which is, not refurbished yet, and adding all that value process there. So what I want to say is what do you see in this investor, which is the next step he needs to take to stretch himself and actually create a lot of wealth, a lot faster, that he's not doing at the moment?
Well, first of all, the amount of risk and the knowledge involved in higher projects like the one I showed him. He's got a bike to let that he rents to a family, and that's pretty much all he knows. And I believe there's hundreds, if not thousands, of landlords, which I call them landlords by accident. And these landlords by accident is the typical banker or worker who has worked for 10, 15 years, got some savings, and then he wants to do something with the savings, and he said, let's buy a property. And then buying a property, he says basically something that is not too bad, something that is already pretty much ready to go, and then you can put tenants straight away. This is the typical accidental landlord that they just rented the property to get some sort of 5 or 7 or 8% income from it, and that's basically it. That's basically what they know, and that's basically what they know about property. However, there's a lot more to property than that, and I don't invest any of my pennies in order to get a just 400 or 500 or 5 or 6 or 7% rent. What I do is invest as much as I possibly can into something that I can get my return back in pretty much 6 months, and then I can keep the asset and keep getting the cash flow of the property. So if what I'm buying is not giving me this strategy, or is not gonna give me my return in the next 6 months, I'll probably just pass on the deal, or not unless it's something quite interesting in the long term. So it's just a number of things that is the way I do things. But other people, they just want to have one or two houses and that they just want to retire on it, which is absolutely fine. There's no limits on how many you need to have or how many you have to have. But for people who are looking to push and looking to expand a portfolio from 1 to 10 properties in a couple of years or 3 years, then this is the conversation that we need to be having. This is the level where you need to be going. And this is the type of deals you need to be targeting in order for you to withdraw your equity from each project, recycle your cash, and go into the next project.
Yeah, absolutely. So, George, if we use your journey as an example, when you started, I remember you told me the story at some point that you went to some courses, and when you saw the prices of what they were trying to charge you, you basically decided to go ahead and take the risk yourself and learn by some trial and error, and obviously, there was a lot of fear in that case. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so basically, back in the day, I also renting rooms. So I also into a rent-to-rent business. And I have managed already quite a few HMOs in London. So I already knew the dynamic of like renting rooms, getting them ready, dealing with the tenants, dealing with like things that break up in the property, doing minor repairs. So I was already involved in all that thing. So I already knew how to manage the property. I already knew how to make profit from a rental property. Now, the big question was, how much do I actually need to start investing? And well, in my particular case, when I was looking at properties in London and to do something in London to try to convert a house into a HMO, I was looking literally in the region of 500,000 pounds to get me going. So I started looking elsewhere, started looking other options, and Liverpool was one of them. And not just Liverpool. For instance, Manchester, Hull, Leeds, some properties in the Midlands as well could offer very good returns, and it's a lot less where you would be investing in London. So that was my journey in terms of like trying to find the right spot to invest, where I can get high income strategies. I can hold the asset which is appreciating pretty much year on year. If you look at the investments that I've done back in 2017, now those investments are worth pretty much the double or some of them triple of what I purchased those properties at. So you can see by not just buying and renting, you're going to be making the money, but obviously keeping an eye on what's going on in the city and how much investment is actually going into the city for you to realize what's the potential in the long run if you hold the asset for 3 to 5 to 10 years. And that is how I looked at investments for me to move to the next level and for me to as I said, withdraw my equity as soon as I possibly can.
Yeah. So I personally believe, Georgia, between theory and practice, there is a big obstacle, which is called fear. And to move from one to another, you need to overcome that fear. So just to finalize this episode, what would you say to those investors who they might have the cash but not the experience, or they might not have cash but they don't have the knowledge? What would you say to those investors so they actually can go through that obstacle of fear and go stop looking so much into theory, hiding so much from in the theory part, and actually move to the practice and start making some investments?
Exactly. Well, to conquer fear, I think knowledge will conquer fear. So if you're scared of what to do and how to invest because you don't know how to do it, then education is your first point of practice. You need to educate yourself and see how it's done, how other people are doing it, and then you're going to start doing it yourself. But the more understanding you have about property and the more understanding you have about the type of deals and the strategy that you're going to be using, the more calculated the risk become. And this is something that we can do at Property Strategies. If you don't know where to start and you want some guidance and you want or you want to educate yourself and see how we can how you can potentially start buying your first property within the next 6 to 12 months. We're here to literally provide you with the services and the education that you need for you to start building your own portfolio. We also offer the service that you can come with me for an entire day, just literally talking to me all day about property and also seeing what I do when I'm in action and when I'm doing my deals, when I'm closing my deals, when I'm picking up keys from estate agents to go and see the properties, and also when I'm dealing with my builders and I'm showing them what I want from the property. So this is basically how you could potentially be understanding and getting the knowledge of what you want to do. So we can offer these to you, apart from any other focus strategies that you want to discuss. And plus, you're going to have me for literally the whole day, answering all your questions, showing you things, how they work, and also how I do the deals myself. So this is part of the service. And also you can find us, you just can send us an email through info@propertystrategies.co.uk. I'll be more than happy to share anything that you want us to help you with, and definitely be here for you to find us whenever you can.
Fantastic. Thank you, George. So there you have it, guys. This is from theory to practice, and then you need to overcome and kill the fear to grow and move fast. So thank you, George. And guys, we'll see you on the next episode.
So for those of you who have the cash but don't have the knowledge, we can help you here at Property Strategies. We can design a roadmap, or we can do a all-done-for-you service. And all you have to do is send us your inquiry at info@propertystrategies.co.uk. And for those of you who don't have the cash and you don't have the knowledge, but you want to start getting started in property, we can also help you. As I said, you can send us your inquiry of what exactly you want to achieve and what you want to do. And then we can tailor a roadmap exactly what you want to do and how you can achieve it, how to put a theory into practice.